Hello, Merlin Man.
Hello, Alex Cox. How are you?
I'm great.
You sound great.
Is this how we're talking now?
That's how you're
The
talking, and
show?
that's how I'm talking.
Is
If we're modulating our voices lower,
more
then,
all right.
but how
All
low
right.
can you go? All right.
Not very low.
Me neither.
It's frustrating, but
Yeah, I
the-
know. Well, we do what we can. Popping
I
pills.
when I'm like this, I sound hostile. So
You sound shrill.
know.
Whoa, don't be touchy. Just because I called you shrill,
I don't believe I've ever been called shrill to my
Sure you
face,
have.
which
Oh,
is
well,
kind
that's
of
fair, yeah.
exactly, which is
That's how you
we'll
tell
get
them
to
an
the
ally.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if the people who say mean things to me behind my back that aren't related
People
to
who say mean things to you behind your back.
to others behind my back about me, that I think they're a true ally because they just don't like me because I'm a bitch or another reason, but probably because I was a bitch to them, and true ally. Good job. Thank you for your
Would you be
service,
disappointed
everybody.
to find out people don't do that?
Um,
Because a lot of this narrative kind of relies on the fact that you have inferred that people talk about you a lot.
not inferred. Based on
So your friends gossip about how people gossip about you.
no, I don't think so.
Hmm.
But I don't want to get to the challenge, but it's like, okay, how much do I want people to think about me and perceive me? And how much do I care? And how much should I think about whether or not they're thinking
Well, the
about
answer's
it?
a lot, apparently.
I mean, maybe the reality, but I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want that. Do you care if people talk about you?
I don't know. What I'm not gonna say it concerns me, but a thing that's interesting is sometimes I do try to follow what it is you seem to want to talk about, and then it seems like you didn't actually want to talk about that. Then that's the thing I'm struggling with, and that's my problem, not yours. And please don't talk about me behind my back. Just don't talk about other people. There's no need to talk about other people. Talk about ideas. Ideas are fine. Ideas feelings don't get hurt, even when you talk behind their back to their face.
All right. So, what would an idea be that you should talk about versus?
Of all the ideas, what's the one that I would recommend?
Can you love an
here?
idea? I mean, can you express gratitude towards an idea?
Hey, how's it going? Wow, that was some really thoughtful stuff. Can you express gratitude toward an idea? Now, is that a thing you want to talk about, or are those just words that came out of your face? Either one's fine. I got nowhere else to be.
I would like to talk about whatever sort of notes that you have that you keep referencing, and you said you're not
What
going
does
to write
that mean?
things
My
down
notes I
anymore.
keep referencing. Sorry, I dropped the thread there. What are you talking about?
Last week in the after show, you said that I won't write anything down anymore, and I've still been thinking about what did Merlin write down.
What? I'm sorry. It's early. Can you remind me of the context?
I think it was just something that you wanted to talk about. And I don't come into the show wanting particularly to talk about or preparing to talk about anything other than the challenge, because
Or
I just want to talk to
talking
Merlin.
about things.
The
So, but I said something about how I don't want to take notes on something anymore.
that
Is this
you're
is this a jokey bit, or is this like a thing?
it's
a jokey bit, right?
No, but mostly yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God!
I'm
I am.
doing
Can I
yes
tell
and
you
no
one thing about me?
questions.
I am never writing down notes again. Woof. Who has the time
God.
or the inclination? Who amongst us
Oh,
has stopped writing notes?
I just think about. I just write down ideas, no notes.
And then you show them gratitude.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
say thank you And what is it that Emily Gilmore did with the Marie Kondo, the thank you for your service era?
Emily
of
Gilmore,
objects.
Marie Kondo.
The
Lorelai's
in the
mother.
television series Gilmore
I've
Girls.
seen the show, honey. I don't understand what that has to do with Marie. So there's a Marie Kondo joke on Gilmore Girls?
Yes,
Okay, got it. And that's
learned
Emily
about-
Gilmore is Lorelai's mother, Rory's
Yes.
grandmother.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so we are doing context now. Yes, and
Oh my God.
as
Do you hate this show?
no, it's my favorite thing. Which
Well,
I
then
don't know
What,
how
what
much
are you getting out of
it's
this? You, it's like you stomp in a mud puddle, and then you want to talk about showing your gratitude. What? So okay, but that's apropos of the challenge. The idea here is that she was showing gratitude towards stuff she was discarding, but it was like a throwaway Marie Kondo joke.
No, it was an entire episode, and those were the episodes that were kind of like whole movie that were an hour and a half, and there was 40 minutes.
The Netflix follow up, like the Seasons series. where they came
Yes.
back. Okay. Oh, that makes more sense because then the Marie Kondo book would have been out. That would make sense. Because I don't think it would have been out when the show was originally out.
I mean, the idea might have been out there. People might have been talking about it.
Maybe
It could
showing
have
gratitude
been
toward the idea that wasn't in the book
exactly.
yet. Yeah.
Thank you for your the ideas. We don't
She was
talk
on
about
Netflix
books.
too. I think Marie Kondo had a Netflix show too.
Oh gosh. This is another Merlin Mann service that I think the world could use. Playlists
no.
of good
Oh,
Netflix
no.
shows. No.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I hardly open any of my streaming app things anymore. It's weird. It's weird. But no, like Netflix, when I open it on Fridays to like see what's new, and I don't know. Usually it just, I don't say it depresses me, but like it's I'm not like super excited to see what's there usually. I watched something recently that was way better than I expected on Netflix. Oh, no, sorry, never mind. Well, okay, there's Bring Me the Beauties on HBO, which was way better than I expected. And it's one of those cult things that I just did not know about at the time. That was really good. Yeah, there was something I recently watched on Netflix. I don't want to launch a noisy app to check, but I don't think Netflix will let you do playlists natively, and also people I don't think they're that interested in my curatorial services based on evidence and information and insight and inference
No,
and ideas and gratitude.
Yeah. They don't talk about you, just ideas. The
Yes.
concept of Pete Davidson is a
Concept
big
of Pete Davidson.
Yes, I didn't know he had a Netflix show, and I don't know why. This is something.
This is not a me thing. This is here's a new topic.
No, it's just.
Oh, no.
I opened Netflix, saw Pete Davidson, and was like, huh, and I think
Cool story.
I don't know. Well, no, I think it is indicative of something that I'm a little bit excited about.
Oh.
Not excited necessarily, encouraged by,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
I'm encouraged when people open a streaming app and are like, and then seek something specific out.
Netflix is mostly dead women mysteries and
Yeah.
things from other countries they're trying to make look like they're from an English-speaking country. That's my experience recently with Netflix. The links to which they will go in the thumbnails that I get, and I believe they probably are served somewhat differently depending on people, same way YouTube does. Yes, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Polish stuff that they would like to make me think has like Bill Weasley in it or something. And you're like, hey, wait a minute. That's not who that is. What are they doing with
the
that
wrong
shot?
ginger.
Yeah, there's a lot of diacriticals in those names. It's a tell. It's a racist tell. I mean, if it's
Critical tell.
yeah, like if it's from Brazil, or if it's from Polska, or if it's from Argentina, or it's from El Norte, El Sud de Korea. Not El Norte. We don't get El Norte de Korea shows here. We get
no.
Sud. Is that how you say it? Como se dice South?
Como se
You play
dice,
flute?
Demon Hunters?
Demon Hunters. Hi. Now
Yes.
that is, what country is that from? I just discovered a song
the
that
K's?
that has a Korean person singing on it that I like. My kid had to tell me about it because I didn't recognize it. There's a song in a television commercial, and they play this little clip of this song, and I'm like, man, that sounds like a really good, familiar pop song. And Billy's like, yeah, it's like a huge song. I'm like, what? And it's called APT, all caps, period. And it's by the woman called Rosé and Bruno Mars. And it's called APT, but I don't think she says that.
Oh, the
It's the part that they played kind of does sound a lot like other songs, but that's okay. That's pop music, babe.
Oh, okay. This is actually an interesting thing, and I have as a future challenge is find similar melodies because
Oh boy.
I feel like folks kind of know about interpolation, and I never know if I'm saying that right. And
It's the thing that's like sampling, but it's slightly different from sampling. Or it's not a subset because interpolation can be when you just play a long ass sample and pay for it, right? I mean, what do you consider interpolation?
I truly consider it whatever the sound of Olivia Rodrigo and that Paramore song are. If I hear it,
Oh, right.
I'm like, oh, that
The choruses are
okay.
pretty similar.
Right, but it's
And like
it's,
Adam Neely says, it's not a question of like whether it's note for note, but like it does very much. It seems like, again, forgive me, I always come back to Battle Royale and the Hunger Games, where it's like you need more. If you have literally never heard of that Paramore song, you need better friends to tell you, dude, you know what I'm saying? But I enjoy Olivia Rodrigo. You know what I like is David Byrne's cover of Driver's License.
oh, David.
Driver's license. It's really good. I love that song. I think it's a very accomplished song.
David,
Notes, notes,
a
notes.
song that I knew existed, sort of, but luckily
Cool.
I have a good friend who mentioned, "Oh, driver's license," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's one of the very good Olivia Rodrigo songs."
Wow. Okay.
But this is different than
Dragging a lot of people
interpolation.
this week, aren't you?
Wait, no. I mean,
No, I think that was one of your good comments. What do you have against her? Is there a thigh gap?
Nothing. No, nothing. She did. I think I was actually very excited when she performed on SNL. I think what they're
I
doing
thought
with
that was
musicals-
terrific.
Yes.
I thought both of her
Yes.
performances were wonderful.
I
That
very
stage
much
is so
enjoyed
little. It's littler than it used to be. I think they must have subdivided. It's like a New York apartment building. I think they must have changed the way they break up the sets there to maybe make more separate sets. But I think the sets are getting smaller.
I just
know?
like to imagine that everyone's a lot bigger, or
You do.
a little, only slightly smaller things.
Pete
Incredibly
Davidson was on that
funny.
show at one point.
Yes, he was.
He and John
Sure.
Mulaney went to see The Mule together.
The Mule.
The Mule. Clint Eastwood was the
Mule.
90-year-old drug mule.
I don't
I
know.
thought you
I'm
liked Pete Davidson.
I don't really have an opinion other than I hope he was nice to Ariana Grande, but that's you know.
Otherwise, she'll
I
get a
don't
new
talk
tattoo
people.
about barbecue. Cool. You'll have that forever.
No, he's getting rid of them, which
He's getting rid of all of Ariana Grande's tattoos.
all of. Oh, sorry.
You
oh
are.
no,
She's the one that
them
has
on.
the hibachi tattoo, I believe.
I wasn't aware. I Don't
Where's her
keep
tattoo? Oh, where? I see. Well, they say where there's a where, there's a way. Did you want to do your intro?
This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge: develop thank you behaviors.
Perfect.
Over.
Perfect.
Perfect.
No, I'm quoting David Brent. Whenever I say that, see, I have to tell people this. Whenever I say perfect, I'm doing an impression of Ricky Gervais's character in the very first scene from The Office, which I think is a wonderful scene. Type up your CV. See on Sunday for my sins. You know the scene?
Vaguely.
Hey, everybody. I'm really proud of my friend Alex for all of the gratitude that they have shown to Ideas and Pete Davidson.
Well, no,
think he's from
not
Staten
Pete
Island.
Davidson. Nah, yes. I know he has a ferry. That's a piece of
They're going to use it to
pop
take all the
culture.
black people home.
The
Did you see this year's joke swap?
yes,
Pretty
but
good.
there's a lot of black jokes in the joke swap.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
I
You make an
can't
excellent point.
I don't see black jokes. I just see Michael Che bullying
you.
Colin Jost.
Thank you.
Very.
Oh, okay, then
my
I got it.
clap sounds
1626. I already got it. I'll go anywhere.
that
I'll go
was-
anywhere you want to go.
Oh, I don't know where I want to go. I wish I did.
Can I help? Maybe I could
yes.
talk you through it. We could talk about anything
Oh.
you want. There's lots of computer stuff
absolutely.
we're both excited about. I've been watching a lot of TV shows I'm excited about. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
I would love to hear about your computer stuff.
No,
You know I
wouldn't.
Yes, I would. Well, I don't. As we established in our super secret text channel, I'm not always great at figuring out whether or not you are being sarcastic about something. Because in the past,
Because you always think I'm being sarcastic.
no, that's not.
You think I'm being I mean, like, at the risk of sounding like a little bit cute about this, I think you never you always think I'm being sarcastic at the wrong time. I feel like, and so maybe it's me, and maybe I need to work on my sarcasm. I was being sarcastic there. Could you tell? I invented sarcasm. I also
That's-
invented hyperbole. I also invented the hyperloop. I invented hyperspace.
But that's why I ask. I don't
Yes.
live in your brain.
No.
I would love to for at least a day. So much. What? That is, I think, one of
I mean,
the...
there's parts of it that I think are fairly habitable, but a lot of it is, pretty aggressive with visitors. There be dragons type situation.
Oh, so, okay. See, in this situation, it would be more of a... Not a Freaky Friday situation, but your brain would be...
I hope not. Oh, I know. I never agreed to that at all.
No. It would be consensual.
Could I swap bodies
but-
with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Absolutely. Oh, that's another...
I
oh,
get
boy.
to fuck Christopher Guest.
I would swap with either of them. It's versus their
When I do it, it sounds like I'm being dirty. When I talk about
No.
how pretty somebody is, people always think I'm being dirty.
well,
bugs
that's their problem. And just
Well, it
like
becomes my problem, Alex, because it's, I don't know. Sometime I'm going to do a little thing. Sometime. It's all of the feelings that I've had about spoilers over the years have now, and people's obsession with it, has now taken me to a new level of private, never to be shared feelings about what's happening with our culture. And I'll put that on my Patreon that I assume I have.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't think people actually like culture and media. I think people like being right.
On the internet, absolutely.
When
And
but I don't have exposure to that many people outside of the internet, so you can infer that, but I don't actually know. I don't have a way of proving it. I got no mechanical hooks for that.
I see. Okay, this not necessarily.
Anyway, my head would be uninhabitable for a lot of people. And I mean, it depends on the rules of the universe. Like, is it an inception thing? If you die in the dream, do you die? All those kinds of things. You understand? It's complicated.
It is, especially if it's, if I would have to choose left brain or right brain, and I think
You're
that
talking about being in an actual literal. See, now I don't think you want to be in a physical part of my head, do you?
well,
I would go with the middle ear, because then at least you have a fast way out. If you are going to be literally in my head.
it's like at this point, I want a James Acaster waiter genie style, where it's the dream restaurant. I want the dream brain where I can.
You can trick a genie though.
Well,
if the genie gets a wish, and the wish is to become a powerful genie, or Jafar for that matter. If anybody wishes to become a genie, well, guess what? Now you live in this. I put you in there.
Yeah. And you can sip that. That might be my
I can sip
dream
that.
cocktail.
I don't know how far this goes.
I don't like that I enjoyed that. Fuck.
Maybe I'll just start trying to work in the names of Disney villains as just really insufferable wordplay. Mechanical Hook, more like Captain Hook.
Oh.
I didn't... show me on the paper where I said it'd be good. Show me on the paper. Title. Okay. It's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon, and you are recording a podcast. How's it going? Oh, computers. Yes. I'm very excited. Just because people don't have insight into a 3-person private conversation. What I'd said was, I think I said something as simple as blah, blah, blah. I think these updates are really thrilling. And I think they are. I think the updates are thrilling. I think it's important to make distinctions in life. The WWDC presentation, I'm not going to make the Max criticism about how they shouldn't talk about developers at a developer. I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is I think that was kind of a terrible keynote, in my opinion. But, it really kind of is all about those slides with text that were too small to read. And like our friend said, well, AirDrop is faster than what? Well, the truth is it is faster. There's a lot of stuff that's just a lot better. That's before we ever even get to, Siri AI, which is like 60% of what's great once you get off the goddamn list. I don't know. What do you think? What are you excited about? You love this stuff.
I don't know if you saw my very annoying series of posts on Blue Sky or Mastodon about my...
You were having trouble... Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to share this with people who did not see that. You were talking about how frustrating...
Giving the context of my frustration with what are...
Say what it is, Alex, please. Can you describe that it's a thing with your phone? Oh, Jesus
It's a thing.
Christ.
I have an issue with my iPhone.
My goodness.
Where for the past 2 years...
You should hire like a third grader
months,
to help you tell stories.
For...
Alex's phone is full of stuff, and Alex was having trouble figuring out how to get it to get rid of stuff, and partly because...
No. What is important is that your phone will keep things like, obviously, the operating system on it. And obviously, I think
That's
people know,
useful,
okay,
yeah.
Yes, it takes up maybe like 20 gigabytes, depending on what sort of, like, depending on things I don't really understand, honestly. People just tell me that's normal. But there's also something called system data, which is not what is within an app. So the system data doesn't mean the gigabytes and gigabytes and gigabytes I have in Overcast.
And when you're done with this part, we're going to get to what you're excited about on the phone. Is that right? Or is this going to be what we talk about now? Is how I misunderstood the thing you wouldn't explain to the audience? Did you want to talk about that, or you want to talk about how
I'm explaining the frustration of having just some sort of cache creep or some sort of just weird memory leak that not even employees at the Apple Store can explain, because unlike a computer, what's a computer? You can't actually go drill down and see, okay, what app or what weird thing is causing me to have 70 gigabytes of system data, which is more than the amount of storage of any of my other apps. Like, what the fuck is happening? So the only solution to that, and unless you slowly want your phone to be filled with this mystery system data, is to do a complete factory restore. And this is my airing of cultural grievances. So I did a full restore of my phone, factory settings, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll put the beta on. And what a delight this is. And that's when I realized, oh, no, Merlin truly wasn't being sarcastic. That's not true. I realized it when you said you weren't being sarcastic. And I don't know if AirDrop is faster, because it feels faster when I'm going from my computer that doesn't have the beta on it, but I'll send something from my phone to my computer, and I'm like, wait, that seems fast. How do? But I'm still on the waiting list for the fancy Siri blob.
Excuse me. Good. I'm glad that got worked out. I'm sorry you never got an answer. That's a frustrating thing to happen.
Thank you for letting me air my grievance. Grievance over. What are you excited about? Tell me about the 60% that I have not experienced.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's super interesting to talk about, probably, but just. I mean, the marquee feature right off the top was that when I did, after much consternation and annoyance and impatience by me, I did get off the waiting list. It's like from the very first Siri AI thing I asked it, I was pretty impressed because it really was, it was doing the thing. It was amazing. Actually, I think that's a phrase I think they also used on Upgrade. Yeah, it really does. It does the thing. Like when you use Siri AI, it's pretty cool. It's not perfect. The chatbot is not, the chatbot is good for what it is, but I can't treat it the way I would treat Claude Code, but like it is pretty great. Anyway, that was a big one, but then it's lots of just the little things. I mean, the little things, I don't know. It's the things that we're not, you have to end up going to all the Shovel blogs, and you'll find these articles about like the things you didn't realize and blah, 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 because, that's not what was in the keynote. And I keep trying to kind of gather string on all these different things I want to eventually try. But to answer your question, the really impressive stuff. I mean, things like the little Siri thing with the camera. You don't have that yet, I don't think. Where, it's just having that built into the camera is really cool. The ability to speak and get an automation. I'm having a little bug that's my own problem, but it really does work. Like it's neat. It's neat. What it can do with speaking. I don't know. It's I always think of something Syracuse, or my interpretation of something Syracuse has said. He'll never actually say anything useful, but it's really different to watch a video game versus play a video game, which sounds really subtle, maybe, but or maybe obvious, perhaps. But to me, I don't play video games. I don't fucking care. I'm interested in seeing video games, but he gets very frustrated because I'm like, I'm going to go watch a 4K playthrough of The Last of Us, and he's like, you got to play it. I'm like, oh, God. He never thinks I'm qualified to play any video game, and I've at this point, he is the avatar of everything wrong with video game people. So that's not true, but I think the same is true here.
Well, he is embodying both emotional and somewhat literal homework.
But he thinks I don't even deserve to do the homework.
That's
true. But the point is that
you're in the brown video game group.
It's difficult to describe something. It's a good example is from year to year. Like I've had the same iPhone for I don't know over a year. It's an iPhone, whatever, 16, I guess. And to this day, it still feels a little heavy to me, which is strange. Because normally, if you carry something around for a while, you kind of get used to it and blah, blah, blah. But I have to say that it still feels a little heavy to me. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. In many previous years, phones would change size, and it didn't really register for more than a little while. The exception being the one time I had a giant phone and I realized it was not for me, just for, size in my pocket reasons. And in my tiny hands.
I'm a big returner. I've never returned anything faster in my life.
But
I'm good at stories.
It's very difficult to say to somebody, well, they go like, what does that mean? It still feels heavier. What does that mean? Well, it's like, you can't really describe it because it's like playing a video game. Where like how balanced a phone feels, and it feels very balanced, I have to say. It's just that to use it the way I want to use it, especially with just in my left hand, like I do a lot of the time, like if I'm laying down, it's, but you can't describe that to somebody any more than you can describe like how it feels when, when the character goes off the swing in Edith Finch. Like you can't you can't describe to somebody what that is. You got the rumble in your hands and all that kind of stuff, and it's difficult to quantify. It's difficult to describe, and extremely difficult anyway for me to quantify why this feels like such a good upgrade. One thing is it's beta 1 and it's pretty damn solid, so good for them. But it's also just that this might come up, but I don't know. Something I'd like to talk about eventually is
my list.
Go ahead.
I really could, I guess, infer that this year there are so many. Okay. I know that folks smarter than me are talking about the, stereotypical, oh, this is a snow leopard year where there aren't necessarily new features, but everything kind of works better. But I truly, even without the Siri, the Fancy Pants Siri, just taking a photo and then it actually showing up immediately in the Photos app.
Yeah, when you're like, gosh, shouldn't it always have been this way? Not to be a dick, but then you're like, now that it does happen, you're like, yes, that's a very satisfying snow leopard thing for sure.
And it's silly.
So I think there's just real quick. I think there might be kind of like three layers to this. There's sort of like the I don't know how do you put this. So you've got like there's the. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm being annoying. But like, I think there's a difference.
Seriously, no, please.
Well, okay. So like there's the marquee features, Siri AI. And, I guess if you're super into screen time, I'm glad that's fixed and easier for people. That's cool. But like when you say, oh, blah, 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 we fly by this and call it a snow leopard year, which at this point, I mean, like, do people really even like remember what that was about? Well, it doesn't matter because now we have a shared understanding of what that means, which is, I'm going to describe this in a dumb guy way because I'm a dumb guy. Snow leopard, okay, so you didn't add anything new really, but a bunch of stuff that's there you made faster or better. That's what. Now the problem with the dumb guy saying that is I don't have a way of saying like, did you rebuild this part of it from the ground up? What kinds of integrations did you improve in ways that I can't like? As a person who pounds his stupid meat hands on a phone, I'm not in any position to describe how you made a, quote, snow leopard improvement. But my gut tells me it's facile to say, oh, those are just tweaks. Like, oh, they just forgot to turn up the quality or speed knob before. I bet there's some serious work in all of those things. We'll come back to the snow leopard part. The Siri AI part is real big, obviously, but not everybody's going to, you don't get that immediately. There's a bunch of stuff that it's not broken, but you won't even see features unless Siri AI is turned on. And you have, of course, the right phone, which I don't. But what's interesting, a funny thing happens, and I'll get to this some other time, but like, I want to talk sometime about the power, the admonition, the evolution of using your voice with a computer. Because I'm realizing now that I've been using my voice to do things on a computer for long enough now that I can really see like, what in retrospect would feel like at least 2 or 3 eras to that. And I've had to kind of come back around to using my voice for things. I'll just say this and get out of the way. I've lost a lot of confidence. I'll describe it as this. I've lost a lot of confidence in the no look, no check, yelling into the air and having things work. Except for a handful of very limited things in very limited contexts. I no longer just broadly trust that I can just yell into the air, especially with SIRI. But, Google's Home Hub has gotten so much better at whatever the magic behind that is, has gotten so much better at that stuff, as Syracuse has talked about. But honestly, the point is, I feel less confident in yelling into the air than I did probably in 2018. Like 3-4 years.
It's a very weird feeling too for me, just suddenly not having
as I stopped using HomePods, I stopped using HomePods for as much stuff. It was just been a degradation in the amount of stuff I use voice stuff for. And the thing is, if it's a voice first product, that's a really big problem. But almost everything should be, if not a voice first, a voice primary thing, like talking to your TV, like so much powerful stuff you can do by talking into the Siri remote. And that generally works pretty well, partly because I think I'm holding the microphone right up to my face. But I guess I've just, what I'm realizing, and it's kind of obvious in retrospect, is that the precipitous drop in quality, the regressions I feel like have happened over time with voice stuff. Let's fold in all the bullshit of what you get on an Amazon device at this point. That was very off-putting to me. I'm going to say it. I still think it's fucking embarrassing that Apple has never released, to my knowledge, anything approaching a full dictionary of everything Siri can do at a given time on a given release. I know that's a lot to ask, but if you ever go, there's that page I suggest people visit once a year, the Apple keyboard shortcuts page. No matter how many years you return, you that reads that page will find new keyboard shortcuts that you could use today that you didn't think were relevant last year. It's so valuable to do. How insane is it that Siri's just this big ball of interpretation? Oh, we can't just it'll break the illusion of the oracle if we explain all the fucking nouns and verbs and what you can do. And that becomes frustrating after a while. Suddenly, the HomePod I'm not using as much starts, I go to dust the top of it and it starts playing a Pavement song, or it just mishears something, and it's just what I'm trying to get at is over that period of time, my trust in whatever the relationship is, whether it's me, the device, whatever it is, I've just lost a lot of confidence in the reliability of voice first things, except for big asterisk, except for a handful of things. Hey, Dingus, set a 5-minute reminder, or remind me about my pasta in 6 minutes. Things like that, work okay. But there are things I would never in a million years attempt over the last 5 years. I mean, my whole HomeKit thing kind of broke recently. A bunch of my stuff broke. It was kind of my fault. But the point is that a bunch of stuff broke, and I'm still trying to reconstruct everything and get it fixed. But all those quote unquote smart devices, well, it's no fun when your light switch doesn't know it's a light switch anymore. Or maybe the light switch now has fallen off this particular group, but not that one. I don't mean to bitch. What I'm just trying to say is that I know that sounds like a shotgun blast of different silly bitches, but I do think it's related in the sense that once I stopped having as much confidence in these platforms, and I'm not trying to blame the platforms, I'm blaming Amazon for deliberately making their stuff shitty. But for almost everything else, I don't have a way to know. But what I do know is, remember the very first time you start trying to talk to your lamp and you feel like such an idiot, and eventually get comfortable doing it. Why? Because you build trust. You build credibility. What was that great quote I saw today? A reputation takes 20 years to build and 5 minutes to destroy. And that's kind of how it feels. That's kind of how it feels sometimes. And I'm not trying to criticize. I'm trying to just opine on where I am. And I don't mean to drag anybody along the way, but what I'm saying is there was a time when I was trying to write a book. And so I blew a ton of time trying to get Dragon Dictate to learn what I would say. And that was just not my jam. That was that was, it's so they used to say about regular expressions, now you have two problems. Trying to get Dragon Dictate to do my bidding, I finally gave up. It's a waste of time. I was thinking about hiring people to and that's come so far. That stuff's great. But as each of those pieces has either, I don't know if you'd call it a regression. I don't know what you call it, because it's not any one thing. It's just that nobody in my family and me and all my friends, I don't think people are trying to do as many ambitious things with their voice. I don't know. I wonder. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm so sorry. What this brings me back to now, though, is something that not full circle at all. But if I began as a person who felt like an idiot, I used to be embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to use my phone in public. I just feel dumb talking. I don't like people talking into their phones. I think it's silly. I had to come at this from the point of view of you don't even like talking on a phone. Now you're going to say into the air, where's the closest urinal or whatever. And it's all so undignified. Eventually though, you say, hey, this lamp understands me, title. And for a while, the lamps did understand me. And then increasingly, it seems like the lamps didn't understand me. And maybe I started feeling a little skittish. And then maybe my HomeKit got borked. And maybe Home Assistant went down. Or whatever it was. But and then eventually in the last year or so, I've gotten way more into dictation. Especially almost exclusively on iOS. But if I know in my head the same way I would think about drafts for almost everything except for X. basically almost anything longer than a sentence. I've said this for a couple years now, I think. Almost everything longer than a sentence or two, for me, is faster to dictate. And, that was the beginning of coming back to this. And now I feel like it's time for me to revisit all of this for both A, using dictation a fuck ton more on my Macs in particular, and for interactions with various things, but also B, the interesting, Robert McKee moment here, bringing me back to, hey, I need to give voice stuff with SIRI. I really do need to give that another throw. And there's so much stuff there now, especially on iOS, that I'm enthused about. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. The point I wanted to make was just about I don't want to say credibility, but about how my trust in that goes down. You know what I mean? Like if I don't want to get into analogies, but there's just so many instances where if something goes away you didn't expect over and over, you can blame yourself for a little while. And then eventually, without respect to whose fault it is, you just find yourself using it a lot less. I think anybody who's lived in a big city can have that feeling about public transit, where maybe there's certain bus lines where you're like, the thing I used to say about Muni is like, Muni will work pretty fine all the time until the one day when you really need it. And it's always the day that fucks you, where you actually thought, oh, I'll take I've had good luck going to the grocery store. I might as well go to a doctor's appointment. And you're fucked because the thing just doesn't show up. And if that happens over much, not only are you going to stop using the bus to go to the doctor, you're going to stop using the bus as much, because I think those kinds of disappointments, especially ones where it feels like, oh, I feel like you fooled me into trusting you. That's putting it strongly. But there is that sense of like, man, I wanted this to work. I've been trying so hard. I've been on it for fucking 10 years saying, where is the dictionary of everything Siri can do? The same way, if I wanted to find every hex code that's available in smart home devices, somebody else had to go make that site. Go find everything that Siri can do as of X point X, X point Y, or whatever. Yeah, you got to go to somebody else's site for that. And I just think that's a pretty undignified way to treat something that you're pretending is really important. It's like, my whole fucking life is important. Like, none of this is wasted. And if you blow my time on like refusing to cooperate with me as much as I'm trying to cooperate with you, it eventually bums you out.
I am even hesitant to call this bitching anymore, which I would have in the past, because I've accepted how, I will say how vulnerable using your voice is. Like you said, it feels so undignified outside, but also you're really, as you come to trust this stuff, I think, as we can hear in your voice, it is wrapped up in so many emotions when it's not just credibility. It, to me, almost feels like invasion and I don't know. It feels violation does feel like too strong of a word, but if you're
could we just say disappointment? Is that not
disappointment, but more
like when a TV show you like is not as good anymore? Like, is it that kind of feeling? Or it's because you got skin in the game, right?
Yeah, because it just the way, not just the way, but I will get into analogy. The way that some people prefer writing on paper versus typing, or typing versus writing on paper, whatever.
People love to pretend writing on paper, especially.
Using your voice. For me, which also started when phones got too big, like trying to describe why a phone feels heavy. I can say that my thumbs don't reach something, but you don't really know until you see it, and then it's like, oh yeah, oh, you really are a freak. But when I started dictating just kind of everything on my phone inside, because I feel like a weirdo doing it outside. A weirdo in a,
especially because it's
way.
Noisy outside, and sometimes you got to do it twice, and now you look like you're trying to show people you're smart with a phone.
And it's, but it became not more intimate, but it's just a different way of thinking that I didn't even realize I was doing. And then, going back to the, oh God, I can't type on this phone, or when it doesn't work, and it's another disappointment and another
typing.
bit
Actually,
of
you know what,
friction.
Alex? That's actually a great example. I know there's and don't send me articles, but whatever's causing it, I've seen a lot of articles. Don't send me articles, but I've seen so many articles. But all I can tell you is my typing on iOS got, and this could be an age thing. Always, you got to control for age and my glasses and whatever. But my typing on iOS consistently got better over probably 10 years, and then has precipitously dropped off in quality since then. And whatever caused that or whatever fixed it, and again, don't send me an article. The point is that whatever caused that, that's another ding in credibility. I don't care whose quote unquote fault it is. But the thing is, the primary way that I interact with the most important computer in my life has been falling short for a really long time. And I don't know of a way to improve or change that, is what it comes down to, right? Isn't it a similar thing here? If I could go and again turn up the quality knob on this, I would go and do that. But I don't know of a way. There's no P list for my life.
All right, title. It goes back to my sort of obsession with agency. Whenever one of these things fails, it feels like I have lost control, or that I at least thought I had.
I was going to say, it could also just be puncturing the illusion of control.
Yeah, and it is a bummer, and I do think this is a broken part. One of the many broken parts of me is I'm like, am I a failure? Is this? It's kind of why I stopped using a lot of shortcuts, because I'm like, I don't know if this is a bug or if I'm just an idiot. So
man.
I'm going
shortcuts,
to
in retrospect,
away.
Shortcuts has found such a perfect balance between underpowered and difficult to use.
Yes.
It's you know what I mean. It's such a bummer, but it's I don't know. I mean, I'm no Jason Snell, but there has been a fair amount of times where I'm like, wow, for being easy to use, this is really fucking complicated to use. And I'm more tempted to go out and just try to make something. If I'm going to spend this kind of effort, why don't I just go make something in AppleScript, which I'm equally terrible at, but I know would work.
Right. And kind of I mean, this has been talked to death, and I don't have anything interesting to say other than an admission of how emotional, not emotional, even and elicit a really strong emotion, but just realizing how it is sometimes irrational, sometimes I think though still justified.
I mean, if that weren't the case, Apple would not be worth the money they're worth.
Exactly.
And emotional, and that's, maybe invested also. Is that phrase sunk cost? We kind of relates to what we were talking about too. We were like, oh man, I've already spent so much time. What do they call it? The IKEA effect. I love this thing that I've built over time, which is my expectations ultimately. And when my expectations get punctured, I do get emotional. I think everybody does. And whose fault is that? Who fucking cares? It's not a matter of assigning blame. It's a matter of acknowledging with candor that we are each vulnerable to the amount of ourselves that we put into external ideas in the world.
You're really smart, and I wish
that's why it's a bummer when a TV show gets less good, and everybody complains about it online, and I want to kill them. Not kill them. I want to harm them. I don't want to harm them. It's I want them to. I want basically the Jared Kushner curse. I just want them to have the first 2 hours. What?
Go. Sorry. What is the Jared Kushner curse?
Oh, I don't want him to go to jail. I don't want him to die. I just want him to have the very beginning of a cold sore every day for the rest of his life.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, you have said that. Yes,
but it'd be different ones. Sometimes it would be in the place no, because if you get cold sores, you usually get them in a few places, and you get used to monitoring that area. And he's going to need to be monitoring new areas often.
Yeah, he's gonna lose all trust. His cold sores have no credibility. They're just popping up.
MBS will not want to kiss him back.
No.
No, thank you. No, thank you. That's my Mohammed bin Salman impersonation. He goes like this. No, thank you. Speaking of thank you, challenge. This week's challenge, which Alex articulated flawlessly, is to develop thank you behaviors. It's a weird fucking challenge.
It is. We've done, I think, similar challenge. I know we've done similar challenges in the past, including
Is that a problem?
examine. No. I think this is interesting
I thought
because
you're trying to Syracuse me a little bit. Where you name like a specific numerical episode, it precludes us talking about it again.
No, I enjoy the.
I enjoy you.
No. I hate it. The
I think more people should be encouraged to do impressions of themselves. Dar, I'm Merlin. I hate reality. Look at me. Flawless.
If only because people should get
I can also
better
do
at
Chico Marx
impersonation.
if you want to hear that.
This might be an exercise in awareness. Doing because I don't know if that was a good. No, I know.
No. Well, like to quote what is it that Steve Coogan says? Steve, what does he say? Well, yeah, you're that impression. Yours may be more entertaining as an impression, but mine is more accurate. It's only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
You don't have the depth. You don't have the depth to do Sean Connery.
Wait, that's
You don't have the depth.
notes. This is from the road trip. No, I like including them. It's a very good thing. I like Michael Caine.
That's not what I'm making a noise about. You should watch some. You should watch any of the. Well, not you should watch. I'm sorry, I'm giving you homework. There's some very entertaining and I think very famous things where Michael Caine can't stop teaching other people how to act and how to look in the camera. He does it on Graham Norton, but there's also, if you look around on YouTube, it's probably called some fuckery like Masterclass, but I bet it's called Masterclass. And fuck you in the eye if you ever say Masterclass. That is the epicenter of wordsmithing. Anyways,
a proper noun for
proper noun.
One of those things I didn't know that I didn't know. I thought that it had always just
it's actually
been a
named after James Master.
Now,
if you listen to No Such Thing as a Fish, that's a funny joke because they have a runner for the last few months about finding out that something's named after not what it seems like, but actually a person. Kind of like Lucy Beaumont and Keisha Lorraine.
Yes. Yes. Got Lucy Beaumont.
Big fan. Huge fan.
Not the other one.
Huge fan.
Oh, I can't remember.
What'd you think of Clockman?
Oh my God. Here is
Clockman.
And time.
Of time. It's so stupid. What a dumb bit. What a dumb bit. And I think Guy really leaned into it in a funny way. Sorry. No, it's not.
No, I remember. I've already written down Clockman. I'm going to no Clock.
This started with realizing that, and I'll do mine just to get out. I don't really have that much to add, so I'll do mine quickly because mostly what I said during the after show last time is like realizing that it's one thing to say thank you for things and like blah. Let's separate over here all the ways that we like say thank you as just a social nicety, and then on the other end you get into the kinds of thank yous that are like fucking homework, like where you're like, ugh, it's what I wanted to do instead was start, if there are things in the world that I'm grateful for and it's an important thing, like I'm trying to just figure out how to change that from a thought that becomes a feeling into something that's a behavior that reflects my gratitude rather than just the words, the gainsaying, the like just, thank you, thank you.
Is that a Merlin impression?
No, that's Nancy. That's every time I say thank you like that, that's Nancy. That's my sister-in-law's friend Nancy, who would say thank you. I told you she worked in a high school and she regarded herself as very hip. She was a high school librarian, and somebody would say something like, oh, I wish I could get a red wine IV, and she would go thank you. That kind of way people would say thank you. And she would like find out about who's hot.
Well, I know how Nancy says it.
She just died, man. It's not funny. She died like 2 years ago. So she's not at Thanksgiving anymore. Thank you. Thanksgiving. So, and I realized in the example that I gave is really the best example I've operationalized so far, which is that like when my wife goes and does a big laundry load I try to make a point of being there to help her carry it up. And I'm not saying that to like, it doesn't matter. You can't fucking help yourself. You can't defend yourself. It's a way that I realized that I can say thank you with my body and my behavior rather than just with my words. And words are still good. I mean, it's a start for sure, but I've just been thinking about things like that. And I honestly, what I've thought about this week, but haven't done a lot with, is that distinction I mentioned earlier of like what is, if I'm really grateful for something and it's something that's that a person does. I mean, it's again, just the idea of metta in, Buddhism, the idea of, loving kindness, depending on it's translated different ways, or like gratitude, meditation. And I get it. That's cool. I'm not going to do that, but I get it. I'd rather like just develop presence of mind to be more aware of like, isn't this a nice moment? And I'm grateful for my health this morning over my health other days, right? There's that kind of gratitude. But I guess what I'm saying ultimately is that if it's gratitude that involves another person, how do you put your thanks into practice through a behavior? But saliently, to my POV, how do you do that in a way that is useful and welcome to the person? And honestly, and is not, this is really important. How do you have a thank you behavior for a person that isn't ultimately a way to get them to have to say thank you to you too?
Yeah.
Because that gets us back to this problem I'm always trying to point out about unintentional sweatiness, neediness, and unintentional
homework. Yeah.
Yeah. Emotional homework. Yeah, exactly. So that's mostly mine. But I just wanted to throw out the thought technology of, and you don't have to do anything right now, but just start noticing. Well, first of all, I can tell you from my own experience anyway, learning to become more grateful, just even in your own head, is so good. It's so good. Just like, just appreciating the fact that you're alive and you're here, and like, you get to be here for a little while. Like all the time you spend doing very, very, very unpleasant things that don't help anybody. Like, man, what a bummer. Like you're burning. And I'm not even talking about fucking regret. Fuck regret. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about deathbed realization, spending more time doing your No, I'm talking about any of that. Like I'm just talking about being a fucking human being who's aware of the fact that they're very fortunate to be a living human being right now. And then not turning it into a jokey bit. But like to have if you like, the outrageous courage to be aware that you're an alive person who has so many things to be grateful for. And I worry that with the way we're kind of habitually learning to think these days, the natural reaction to that is going, in this economy, so much going on and burp, derp. And it's like, yeah, but somehow people do carry on. And in the meantime, until you figured out that you don't have to be sad for the rest of your life for no reason, you can also choose to just be just slightly more aware of how much you have no fucking idea how fortunate you are. You have no idea how fortunate you are that you haven't had almost all of your kids die of preventable illnesses, that you've got potable water, that like you've got, and I know everything's not perfect, but like that's part of it is like, I said this in the document. I think it's probably one of the weirdest things I ever said in the document. I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was something along the lines of whenever you notice, let's call this a thank you behavior. Whenever you notice something like beneficial or good or something worked out the way you wanted to, just get in the habit of saying thank you in your head. And then it's the extension of that that's completely fucking bananas, which is to like get way broader about how many things you say thank you to. And I'll tell you why. Because if you start saying in your head, not like a nut, but like in your head, if you start saying thank you, not in a Marie Kondo way necessarily, but more for like, I just noticed something that I'm grateful for. My USB-A went in the right way on the first try. Or I just laid back down in bed after urinating and I'm very comfortable. If you get yourself in the habit of saying thank you more often, you'll feel better about stuff because there's a trick. There's a trick to my system, and I'll tell you what the trick is. The trick is that to say thank you to more things, you have to start noticing more things. And if you're not, and what I said in the document is if you're not saying thank you a lot, it's because you have not noticed how many things you could be saying thank you to or for. And if you think that seems corny, guess what? I can tell you haven't started noticing enough stuff to say thank you to. It's an impossibly stupid or subtle idea that you can choose to change your perspective about this stuff. It doesn't require joining a cult. It just requires you to be a little bit more plastic in your ideas about how you have ways to better perceive the world, to be the kind of person you want. That can really begin with how you choose to perceive the world, let alone however you turn that into cognition and completion. So I wanted to toss that out. I'm going to keep trying to find more of those. I don't need to talk about it again, but at least I'm helping my wife with the laundry, and I think that's nice.
I'm worried about how I would go into the spirit of this challenge because I kept making it very much about myself, since I think the one thing that the one thing I hope I'm good at is gratitude, but I really worry about how I express that gratitude to, like I said in the after show, I really don't
remind
want
people.
Thank yous.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I worry that my thank yous will become hollow, and that's where I mean,
like
obviously,
you're just saying it
because
it's rote, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that it is a Midwest polite thing, and
a compulsion.
I worry. Yeah, I worry that the way some people ask how are you, and you say I'm good, that it is, it sounds like that. And the example with my spouse is actually also laundry. Like, every time I know that he's had a bad day, I try to do one of the chores either that he hates or the curse of laundry, which is the chore that both of us just hate. It is fucking fabric origami, and I hate folding. I hate it. I do actually hate it in an unironic way. And that is like
it feels I don't disagree at all. It feels like a ridiculous fucking waste of time and effort. And it's like one of those kinds of things where, like, if you can get into the right mojo with it, like when my wife does these things, so she'll usually work in like taking a walk or going to a coffee place she likes or something, which I think is smart, keep you motivated for that stuff. But yeah, it can feel like it really hollows out your evening or whatever. So, another, just in passing though, another one of these for some people might be, hey, I put a bunch of wash in and that's in the dryer. When it's done, can you take it out? And then if you take it out and you fold it, that might be a nice thank you behavior, for example. These are all about laundry hacks. Just
and these,
but you will sort of preemptively try to save Matthew from having to do some potentially annoying task.
Yeah. And it's not just, physical tasks out of being, physically tired after a long day of work, but also there's that little bit of emotional labor that for laundry for him comes with, thinking just about his parents getting really upset when he didn't do his laundry. Like it's not a huge thing, but it's just trying to shave
but I feel
off
you.
as much.
You don't have to pitch me on that one. I mean, that is one of those subtle kinds of things where you're like, well, it may not be like Bessel van der Kolk levels of trauma, but it definitely leaves a little mark.
Yeah, it's
no, I have to do that thing I'm supposedly terrible at.
Yeah, it's like a little nick of trauma that it's not always there, but sometimes it's like, it's an emotional
maybe at least like self-trust or belief in my own. It may sound silly, that's okay, but like even a lack of confidence in my own competence. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and
like I can't adult with my clothes.
I can't even.
It's giving laundry. serving fabric origami.
I do feel like this is another case of like queer privilege, because of course we been married like 10 years, but the first 3 weeks of your relationship, you talk about everything constantly and over communicate because you don't really have a framework for what a healthy version of what your type of family it should look like. So it's like, okay,
Is that all of you?
What are you?
Or just you two?
Oh no, that's across.
And people won't
many.
mind you saying that about them.
I'm saying it's a stereotype. I'm saying it is a typical stereotype.
Is it a true stereotype? Because all those people,
Yes.
people hearing this, they're going to think you're talking about them.
Okay, if you're queer and you have, if you either over communicate, vastly over communicate, or vastly under communicate with your partner, you are part of a true stereotype.
Okay.
The end.
So if you do either X or the opposite of X, then you're a stereotype.
Yes, it
And
makes.
but that's only true
sense.
for queers.
It's it is a stereotype. I'm not. Let me stereotype. Let me put people.
Well, that was bad
in a
on
very
me for
small
trying to
hole.
stereotype normals. That's what we call ourselves. Are we almost done?
And here is where I.
Decorous. A decorous answer is yes or no. Decorous. Oh, so you were saying about your gay laundry
No.
and how all gays misunderstand laundry
No.
it's because they can't adult.
No. It is. No.
A lot of you do dress like kids.
Yes. Getting past the 12-year-old boy stage is.
Oh, that's not fair.
difficult.
I think a lot of you dress like 13-year-old boys.
I know.
Which is worse.
I think it's 17.
12-year-old boy can be forgiven. 13-year-old boy,
Yeah,
that just seems
you're
careless.
still kind of cute at 12.
Well, compared to what?
But I think the thing. No, I know the thing I'm most grateful for in my life is whenever someone it brings about joy or happiness, which is obvious, but a very close second is the group of people who don't impose or induce any sort of shame. And
Oh man, I
that's-
totally agree.
yeah,
I totally agree, and I don't think that's high on the billboard for a lot of people. Realizing
I wonder
that.
if it's
I really don't
not-
think people realize that.
yes, and I don't really know how to express thanks or have a sort of material thank you beat behavior towards that. And because that is such a vastly important thing. And one of the things I know I'm very aware of when I haven't always been, but I'm very aware of when people, actively or not, are just not are not
They're not
pushing
self-aware
an
about
agenda or
Okay.
or just not not pushing an agenda, but just aren't or just
Sometimes, but people will just say, if you're talking about the judgmental part, right?
yeah.
I don't think
and-
people realize they're doing it. I think that stuff is, to me, that would be my point of view. They may think that, I'm not realizing something that's really obvious. I can see that from either point of view. But there's a lot, the problem is I don't know, I'm back to the Daniel Kahneman first and second order thinking. It's one of those kind of automatic thoughts and almost automatic speech that people will do, and depending on different environments, cultural mores. But it's the kind of thing where you're like, wow, for me to not say something judgy about this would be disloyal to my cause or to my people. But they don't even, but they don't process it that. They don't not my, but the thing is, I tend to approach things more as not my circus, not my monkeys, which is like, I want to bring as little of my bullshit as possible to every interaction, which you wouldn't know from listening to a podcast, but believe it or not, this is not what every minute of my life is like. Thank God for everybody, but inshallah. But I really believe that, and I guess I just feel like there are not a lot of people that think about it that same way. Nobody fucking cares about your bullshit. Nobody wants to know where you got your sunglasses. Like nobody wants to know what happened in Ibiza. Like just fucking like and nobody cares where your kid got accepted to college. Nobody cares where you can afford to live. And if they do care, it's going to be like a New York Times profile. Here's a hot tip, life hack. If anybody at a publication you've heard of offers to do a profile on you, say no.
Don't talk
no
to
one
journalists.
has
Don't
ever
talk to
looked
journalists.
good in the last probably 20 years from one of those profiles.
No.
I mean, how will, it's like those ads for Wealthfront. The TV commercials for Wealthfront are like a running bit finally for all three of us in the house, where it's these three different commercials that are about, using Wealthfront to like have like a good retirement and to save money. And like every single one of them is dependent on generational wealth. And not generational wealth as in like I gave you a barony, but generational wealth in the sense of, hey gang, you know why I only applied to 2 colleges? Because that's all my mom could afford. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's your point? Well, sometimes generational wealth also means whether you have an extra $15. Mm-hmm. And if you've never missed a meal, and I know everybody's got they can, at this point, they can hire people to pull up their bootstraps most of the time. And every single time that ad comes on, the commercial, Billy and I just kind of like sort of should just go, generational wealth. Like this guy named Ty or Kai or Pi. And he's this guy who's you catch him in the kitchen. You get a minute with him while he's baking bread. And he talks about how because of his investment strategy through Wealthfront, he finally was able to stop working for money at 40. Now, a lot of people would just say I was able to stop working, but he said stop working for money. And then they show a little slideshow of him and his wife having good times. And I said, really, that's the thing. And then they show, in those commercials, I know you don't see a lot of commercials, but then they'll show an iPhone screen with a balance on it. And like those 2 sisters eating ramen and talking about getting their money up. The couple where they had their money in a savings account and it was like 0.1%. I don't think there's that many people between 26 and 40 that have $123,000 in the bank right now. But that ad is pitching it to you, I think, in like gambling ads. Like they're pitching it to you as like, all you need is a different app for this. Like if you had an app, you could be like Pi or Kai or Ty, and you could stop working for money at 40 and then bake bread with your wife, I guess, shooting the camera in your house. And like, that is so shitty. What a shitty way to treat people. Especially because I know this is an old reason we haven't really turned over too much lately, but there's a reason that guy's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. One of those reasons is that a lot of people love watching him get away with stuff. And like the idea that like I'm so close to being as successful as Donald Trump. All I need at this point is a different app. And that's why I keep voting for him. I know that's not the whole package, but I think that is part of it, is this aspirational wealth. Like, something my ex used to say, 17 magazine is not purchased by 17-year-old girls. It's purchased by 13-year-old girls and perverts. 17 magazine is not for people who are 17. It's for people who are 13. Mm-hmm. At the same time, around the same time, this might have been how it came up, was we used to go to Books A Million or Barnes & Noble. And back in the 90s, there were so many magazines. There was a magazine called Millionaire Magazine. I'm not going to look it up, but there was a magazine called Millionaire Magazine, which I mean is kind of like having a magazine called Trans Person Magazine. I guess, like, I don't know. Like, are you like aspiring to that? Like, if you're a millionaire, do you buy Millionaire Magazine? Because it seems to me that if you're a millionaire, like, what is Millionaire Magazine? I mean, I understand people who buy a new Mac, like, go out and buy Macworld or Mac User or whatever, because, I bought books about bikes or magazines about bikes when I got a bike. But like, I mean, I'm not reading like the HTML bulletin anymore or whatever.
I would love to subscribe.
What I'm saying, Alex, is generational wealth. We need to acknowledge the role and broaden. And also, everybody, stop being an asshole with that humble brag that everybody does that's incredibly obvious, and keep your bullshit away from other people is my feeling. It's fucking ridiculous.
And
people.
I like people, and I
Compared
wish
to what?
I mean, I also like cats. I didn't say I like people more than anything else.
Yeah.
I wish
JD Vance says that's the dumbest thing he ever said was the cat lady thing.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't think he didn't say he regrets it, but he like, you can tell he went to Yale. So he's put all that together. Also, his wife definitely still wants to fuck him. So good for both of them.
Okay.
Usha should have left when you could.
All right.
All right. Stay out of the clown's white vans. Wait, I can.
No.
No, I'll cut all it out. Don't worry.